So you can take stunning photos of your clients against crazy cool backdrops without the use of green screens and composite work. Because I don't know about you, but I sure don't want to cut somebody out of, I don't know, 50 different poses to put them on some sort of really cool background that I can't otherwise shoot. But thanks to new AI technology and my friends over at Intuition Backgrounds, we can create AI generated backdrops that you can get custom printed. So you can have anything you want as a cool background in your studio. Now, you can go out and take your own photos of nature scenes, of landscapes, of cityscapes, of whatever you want and print really cool custom backgrounds. But with the new AI technology that's available, we can get things printed on backgrounds that have never been an option before. And I'm going to show you how to do it so you can create images like what you saw in the beginning of this video. So firstly, I am at the Midjourney Discord channel. Now, Discord it's a platform for message boards, basically. So people can communicate online and chat in real time, like the old AOL Instant Messenger message boards, or I think MSN had the old chat rooms. Anyway, I'm dating myself here. But basically, it's a place for people to go and share whatever they want to talk about literally any sort of thing on the planet. There's different groups that people can get together, almost like a social network. So what's cool about this is Midjourney has created this channel and their AI technology lives in the Discord channel. So it's free to create a Discord account. You just go to discord.com. You can create your own account and then join Midjourney. Now to do it, you can even just Google Midjourney Discord and the first thing that pops up will be what you need, most likely. But you can see that I'm already here and it will ask you to join. It'll give you what's called an invite. You just click yes, and you are in the group. Now, it might have you answer a couple of questions, just like you're joining a Facebook group. Do it, it's fine. And you get to create 25 different sets of images for free. And then you can subscribe, and it's like $10 a month or $30 a month, depending on what your needs are. I signed up for the $30 a month, and I just made a ton of images over that time, and then I canceled my account. You can do the same. You can stay with it and play. Possibilities are endless. So here I am in Discord, and on the left side here, I'm going to scroll down. If you are a newbie, it will probably put you in one of the newcomer rooms over here, but I'm just going to jump into one of the general rooms. And if I click on that, you can scroll through and see the kinds of things that people are making right now. And what's cool is when you see them, it'll tell you what words they've used to create their artwork. So how this works, you type in a selection of keywords and the AI technology will create an image based on the keywords that you give it. Now, it will generate 4 square images like you can see right here, and they're numbered 1, 2, 3, and 4. So based on the keywords here, it'll generate the thing, and then you can either upscale them if you like them because they come out in pretty low resolution, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Or you can get new versions. You're like, I like that, but try again. This little arrow circle will redo all of them, or you can hit V1, 2, 3, 4 to do another version of image 1, 2, 3, or 4. So you can't tell it, I like what you're doing here, but don't do this instead. Unfortunately, we're not at that level yet with the technology. I'm sure it's coming. It'll just regenerate the whole thing and try again, essentially. So what I'm going to do, let's see, jump to present just to get down to the bottom of the list. I'm going to create one here so you can see how I do it. You type in imagine. This is how you start. So you type that in and then you enter your keywords. So let's say we want to create a cityscape at night. Let's do nighttime, skyline, city. What else do we want in there? How about a river? No moon. We want stars. And very dark. And you separate each one of them with a comma. And they all come out as square, which I print my backdrops as square anyway. 8 by 8 I think is a perfect size. It's 8 foot by 8 foot canvas is what I print all of my own backdrops on. You can do them however you want. But again, these automatically come out as a square. So you can either crop them later in Photoshop if you want, or if you do --AR, that's aspect ratio. You can change them to 2:3 or 3:2 or 3:4, whatever you want it to be. But again, I print mine all as squares. So let's just do this and see what it looks like. I will, yes, accept the terms of service. Okay. So it is processing right now. And it will let me know in a second when it's ready. But in the meantime, you can scroll through and see what other people are doing. So like this one, you can see they're blurry and it's going to keep reloading. That's because it's only at 25% rendered. And it's just going to keep going until it hits 100, and then you'll have the finished version. But what you can do also is go up to your little inbox up here. Mentions. Huh. Maybe it didn't actually get started. Okay, let's try it again. It's weird that it asked me to redo the terms of service because I'm already like a pro member of their software. Okay, so imagine we're going to do very dark city skyline, nighttime, no moon. When there's a moon, it tends to be really big in the images I found. And when you have a large light source behind your subject in the image, you kind of need to have a rim light or something on your subject from that light source. And I don't want to have that light back there. Totally up to you. Very dark city skyline, nighttime river. Yeah, that's right. Went under river and buildings. Okay. So it says waiting to start. Now, if we go up here to inbox, it'll have mentions. And we want to, it'll show you right here. So once you start creating these, your inbox with the mentions is going to have all of the things that you've created, at least for 7 days. I haven't been on here for 7 days. That's why it's not showing any of my previous ones. So we're rendering, we're at 43%, 56. And you can get ideas for what other people are doing as well. And what's cool about this, if I like these also, I can hit the redo button and generate my own versions because this is all open source. Everyone owns all of these. And I don't know that you can actually copyright them. I mean, maybe if you went down to the copyright office and tried, but in their terms of service, it will tell you what your usage rights are. And you can basically use them for any commercial purposes until you hit $1 million in revenue. Then you have to pay for a corporate account. But double check when you actually sign up for this. And you can find that at rules and FAQ at the top of the list of rooms here. Okay. So you can see here, these are the 4 that it created. Those are pretty darn cool, right? So I think because I included the word moon, even though I said no moon, it still included the moon there. So again, what I can do is either redo, let's say versions 1 and 3. So these left 2, it's going to redo both of those. But I'm just going to copy this whole thing. And I'm going to try again. Imagine, paste, but I'm going to get rid of where it says no moon. I don't even want to give it the opportunity to put the word moon in there. And I'm going to go back over to my inbox and I'm going to wait. All right, and you can see that it's processing things. So this is my new one without the moon. This is a reiteration of one of the images I created, and this is a reiteration of the other one. So when I started creating my own backdrops, I thought, oh man, this would look so cool to have in the background as, you know, something to shoot in the studio with, right? Instead of shooting on like a green screen or a neutral gray and then cutting them out and pasting them into the scene. But it can be a distracting background. And I learned that I had to be careful as to what elements I put into the background. Like there's a lot of contrast. There's a lot of brightness back here. So I don't think any of these would really be a great background. Here's the new one without the moon. Which again, these are really cool images. I don't think that they would work well as a photo backdrop. Now, unless you could get your subject far enough away to shoot shallow depth of field and get them out of focus, even though they're already pretty well out of focus, you've got bright spots, you've got a ton of contrast, a lot of lines and shapes and textures in the background. That generally makes for a very distracting background. And you don't want a distracting background. You want something that accents your clients or your models, your subject, whoever it is you're photographing. So what I started doing was, imagine, let's say red wall, jazz lounge, no people, windowless, candles. Swanky jazz club. I'm going to say club and lounge. Clounge, jazz clounge at night. So I'm going to wait, give that a sec to go. It does things in order of operation. So as soon as you submit yours, it puts it in a queue and then it processes everybody else's stuff. So if you're on at a time when a ton of people are submitting things, it's going to take you a little bit longer. All right, so these are going pretty quickly. And I believe you can do up to 3 requests at a time, and then it just adds your own stuff to a queue. So you might have 3 going at the same time, but it won't do number 4 until one of those is finished. Okay, these are looking pretty cool. But I learned a couple other things along the way that I'm going to share with you on this one, because this is pretty gosh darn close to something I would print. Okay, so in here, we've got, I think this one, number 3, would be a phenomenal background because you've got tons of space in the middle where you can have your subject stand. They can face either direction. There are no really distracting elements in the background. I think you could do the same with numbers 2 and number 4. The reason I don't like number 1 is because it turned part of the wall here into a candle, which is weird. It's AI technology and it's pretty new. So I've tried things like stone pillars, Greek temple, things like that. And when you have an AI rendering of a familiar object, it can look too AI rendered. I don't know how else to describe it. But obviously this doesn't look right. And you could Photoshop that out if you wanted. But either way, there's a lot of floor here. What that means, if this square is your backdrop and you roll it all the way down so the bottom is touching the floor in your place, then it's gonna, you couldn't shoot a full-length portrait because this floor would then run into whatever floor you actually have in your place. Or you stretch this out and you roll it down so you have a seam right along where the floor meets the wall here, and you actually print it so that you've created a floor underneath them. But when you get to these over here, where you have just a little bit of floor at the bottom, it gets kind of weird where that floor meets your floor. So what I recommend doing, here, let's just save these. Let's work on these. I'm going to upscale them and then show you how to turn it into a backdrop. Let's do numbers 1 and 3. So what the U is, it's upscaling. because it does them in pretty low resolution at first, but we need to scale them up to a high enough resolution to print at a large backdrop. So I'm going to go over here and wait for these to start scaling up. The upscales tend to take a little bit longer because it's rendering larger files. Also, it's adding more detail. So you can already tell looking at the low res version over here, the wall, pretty plain, the floor, pretty plain, but now we're getting textures and details in here that the low resolution one didn't have. And unfortunately, as soon as you start upscaling, it starts adding all these textures and little things to it. You can't tell it not to, at least not yet, but totally fine. We'll let these render. They're almost there, right? You can see in this one as well. I'll come back. Okay. I'm just going to click on that. Here's our new image. I want to see the original. This is pretty cool. I mean, if you look at the chairs in the background, they look like Picasso chairs, right? Like they kind of blend into each other. They're not actual functioning chairs. And there's like a table sort of thing floating in the wall right here, but I don't mind it. This is in the background. So let's save that. Okay. I'm going to just open that up into Photoshop. Okay, so here is our image. So what I could do is take my clone stamp if I really wanted to get rid of this thing. And I could just, clone it out of here, which is pretty easy to do. This isn't a Photoshop editing video, so if you're not familiar with the clone stamp, there's other videos out there for that. Okay. I think that's pretty cool. And then let's get rid of maybe that little guy. Okay. So now that I have this, I think this would make a really cool backdrop. But like I talked about earlier, the floor is kind of weird. So I can do a 3/4 portrait where I'm not actually showing the bottom part of the backdrop. Or I could just crop this like that. And then you're like, that's cool, but it's not a square anymore. So you can go, canvas size. Let's go pixels. I want to make them the same. 1024 by 1024. Expand the top. And then I would just take all of this. Come on. Transform. And stretch it. Cool. So now I have a square. I can print this as an 8-foot by 8-foot backdrop. I think this would be a really, really cool backdrop. Yeah, you've got these things in the background. I don't think they'll be distracting at all. All right, now we're going to save the image. Just save as. I want to call it red wall background. Do that. Yep. Cool. All right. Now I'm going to grab the red wall background and I'm going to drop it into a program called Gigapixel AI. This is from Topaz Labs. I think the license was about $100, which is well worth it. Or I'm sure you can find someone on Fiverr or Upwork to do this for you for $5 if you only wanted to do a couple of them. And I'm just going to drag this over here. I believe these were the standard settings that it comes with. Scale, I do 6x magnification or upscaling. These give you a variety of choices here based on the type of work you're doing. Go with low res because that's what we're working with, is a low resolution image. And I believe everything else was already standard. And you can see down here, it's going to go from a 10 by 24 image up to a 6 by 6144 image, which is significantly larger. So we'll save that. And again, I don't touch any of these. I'm going to put that in the same folder and we'll do save. All right, now it's going to render this out, right, which is pretty quick. And done. Now I have this image here. Go get info. 6144 by 6144. That is pretty gosh darn big. And that's big enough. Okay, so now we get back into our browser here. And I'm going to go to Intuition Backgrounds. And My Drops. This is where you upload your own custom ones. So I love doing everything in Canvas. Size-wise, I want it to be 8 foot by 8 foot. I own copyright because you can't use copyrighted materials and reproduce them. As photographers, we should be very well aware of this. One of those, add to cart. And then once you go ahead and pay, it will ask you to upload your image. And all you have to do is upload that one particular image as your backdrop, and they mail it out to you. It is super simple. So I would love to see what you come up with. Let me know what your creations are. Share some photos. Let me know what you got going on. Either head over to the Boudoir Guild Facebook group. That'd be a great place to post them over there. Actually, that would be absolutely the best place because you can't leave them on the YouTube channel. So join us over in the Boudoir Guild Facebook group. I'd love to see what you come up with. And if you have questions about this process, post them in the comments down below. I am happy to help. And again, go visit our friends over at Intuition because they just do the best backdrops. I have 5 of them now on the rollers hanging up in my studio, and I've got 3 more of them in the closet. I'm just like out of roller space for. So they make the highest quality stuff, super fast turnarounds. I have them in no time at all. And again, I can do these custom ones like this, which is pretty gosh darn cool. So there you go. Enjoy.